Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We got a great one for you today, but just as a hit at the beginning of this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe these videos. Going into the 2022 elections, we want to be able to share this educational information as much as possible. We need to make sure that the Second Amendment is a priority on people's minds when they go to the ballot box. So once again, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. I know sometimes if you don't already have one, you got to create a Google account in order to subscribe to a video, but it really helps us with the algorithms and getting this message out there. So getting into this one, we have a special guest today. We're not talking about lions, we're not talking about tigers, but we are talking about bears. Oh my, the CRPA Legislative Director, Roy Griffith, thank you so much for being here to share this with us.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kevin.
So I just wanted to talk with you about this one, Roy, and I know that this one is one that hits close to home. You've been to plenty of California Department Fish and Game Commission meetings. That is where this piece resides, and what we're talking about is a petition that was filed by the Humane Society. This is petition number 2021-027. I wanted to give the quick overview, and then Roy, I'm hoping that you can kind of dispel and break this one down for us. Essentially, what the Humane Society was asking for was to amend existing black bear hunting regulations to eliminate open hunting season until they got three things here. One, an empirical study is conducted of the state's black bear populations. Two, the effects of drought and recent wildfires on the state's bear populations. And three, the state's bear management plan is updated to include the best available science. So, Roy, this just hit the Game Commission meeting, and they made a decision on it yesterday. Why don't you go ahead and break that down for us?
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. This was a huge victory for us yesterday. And I want to just open with that. We all be thankful that we have a commission in place right now that has our back. These folks are basing decisions on science, not emotions. And it's so refreshing from the Sutton Commission that we've had in the past of folks that just bought off on any line, any emotion, and hopped on the bandwagon of hunting is evil. They're basing these decisions on science. As you laid out very well, the Humane Society, which is nationally stated that they want to eliminate all hunting in the United States, one state, one species at a time, starting in California. And for some reason, they think that California is going to be a pushover, and we're the low-hanging fruit. And we showed them clearly yesterday, and over the past number of weeks, as we organized our California Hunters Conservation Coalition. This is not just CRPA. This is CRPA working with Gaines and Associates and California Waterfowl and many, many others to unite and take the United States Humane Society head on and tell them not in our state. You mentioned that they wanted this study done. Well, they failed to do their research and really communicate with the department and find out the department has actively been studying bears. So they don't have a management plan, in a spiral bound notebook, but they have gone really in the future of working with data and modernizing what they do. They've taken the old bear tooth data and they've confirmed and backed it up with modern research like camera research and scat and DNA research to prove that this data they've used for many years is correct and has actually been underestimating bear populations, that bear populations are increasing at even a higher rate. So dispelled this whole theory that fires are impacting bears and making bears extinct. No, the population's been steady throughout the fires. In fact, many of these fires, the lower significant fires, as we all know, create incredible bear habitat. We all know bears are omnivores. They eat anything. They love that successionary stage after the fire where the berries and the lower understudy stuff comes in and thrives. And that's what bears, primarily feed on, nuts and berries and the kind of things that they find in that. And lastly, the component of not doing anything is ending the bear season until the study is completed. They threw that out. In my 30 some years around the department, the doctor they had working for the department yesterday who presented this report was just amazing. It was concise, it was very scientific, but very understandable for the average Joe hunter like myself of just how they've done all this and have been working on the data and completely dispelled the Humane Society. The commission then, allowed all our testimony till we were able to get up, speak our truth, speak our beliefs, dispel their, that, they got up and said that basically the commissioner, our president, Samantha Murray, put them right on the spot and got them to come right out and say that even if there was a 50,000 bears in California, double the estimate, well, that they would still be against bear hunting because it's trophy hunting. Then the chief of patrol, David Bess, and others, and us witnesses got up again to testify that that's illegal. You can't just trophy hunt in California. There's a code section that's called wanton waste. We as hunters have to take every edible piece of meat out of the woods with us. You can't just take a hide and a head and a skull and a photograph and leave the rest. That's already a violation of law. So, everything they did was based on mistruths, and I was so proud to see the commission hold them to that, dispel their rumors that there's no data, dispel the rumor of trophy hunting, allow us the opportunity to clearly say that that doesn't exist in California. They keep using this term trophy hunting. Look at this magnificent animal behind me on the wall. They can call that a trophy. I call it a cherished memory. That's how we as hunters share our memories. We give the animal the utmost respect by eating every edible part of it. I use the bones for bone broth, for crying out loud, the bear fat for lard to make pastry. But then we cherish memories about having these animals be a part of our lives. And we're hunters, we're storytellers. That's what we did when we crawled out of the caves and sat around campfires and talked about the big fight we had with the cave bear. We tell our stories through our photographs, through our cherished memories, and that's how we pass on our traditions of hunting. It's not an evil thing. They think they can make hunting evil by using this trophy hunting term. Well, I, for one, I won't even go hunt places where I can't bring the meat home, and many hunters feel that same way. And even those places where you can't bring the meat home, that meat goes to feed local populations that greatly depend on that meat. So we drew a line in the sand yesterday, Kevin, and we showed them that, it ain't happening, not in California. We had national support on this effort. We had the meat eater, Stephen Rennell, and his amazing crew came to bat with us, and proudly on our coalition letter that's going to be posted on the CRPA website. If anybody really wants to get in the weeds of the science behind all this, the letter that our coalition sent to the director requesting him to back our position of denying the petition. It's kind of a double negative, but that's what happened yesterday. They denied the petition, and that's what we were asking for. We had national attention on this. We generated over 300 letters into the Director of Fish and Wildlife stating just that. So, in the past, there was kind of a feeling, and when I was working for the state, there was this little bit of a feeling from other states that, oh, it's just California, we've lost them. That didn't happen anymore. The nation has realized that we have a battle going on with these folks being United States Humane Society and others that want to take away something that we cherish and believe in. And that battle line is drawn in California, and they've had our back, and they're going to continue to have our back. And united, we're going to keep them from putting forward these ridiculous petitions and wasting so much time and resources from the department that could be focused on actually managing our incredible wildlife resource and even completing. I mean, the time that was taken to prepare the argument for this petition could have been time spent on actual wildlife management and creating wildlife management plans. So just thankful and proud to be on the winning team, and thankful for the coalition that we have. And if any folks are interested in those amazing groups, again, just go to our website, have a look at that letter, and you can see the numerous logos there representing everybody. I keep saying we because CRPA was integral in getting this whole thing going. We were part of an amazing team. There's nothing we accomplished alone. We accomplished this through the actions and working with many other great entities. And we really hit them hard yesterday at that meeting. Folks, just Joe Blow, Hunter, a number of them drove for 4 hours, many hours as I did, to be in Monterey to have our voices heard. And 127 other folks called in on the phone to have their voices heard. So our voices were heard. The petition backed us, and the commission backed us, and that petition was denied. So I know I said a lot, Kevin, but obviously you can tell it's something I'm passionate about. And
yeah. I have always found these arguments kind of interesting, and maybe just kind of, on the tail end here, you can touch into this. Interests are really important. You know, people have national interests, people have local interests. I talk about this a lot with groups when we're talking about politicians having specific interests in the population being a certain way. But if you translate that into the hunting community, I've always found this interesting. Whether you're a hunter or not, this stuff leads to state or local legislation. But when it comes down to it, there would be no interest in the hunter to eliminate a population of something. You know, and I think that goes to, you know, we can shout all we want that the hunting community does more for wildlife than any other group, all other groups combined. You could even say that. But at the end of the day, I think if we can get people to understand that if a hunter wants to continue hunting, they have no interest in a dying population. They have interest in, you know, keeping a population healthy, right?
No hunting. Licensed lawful hunting has never led to the extermination or reduction of any critter in North America. Hunters are the original conservationists. It's hunters that united through the Pittman-Robertson Act and many other acts that were the first to open up our wallets and put our money where our mouth is, you know, and that's what the Humane Society doesn't do. That's what all these groups don't do. They fight us. They make their attorneys rich and take resources away from departments like our Department of Fish and Wildlife that need those resources to apply elsewhere to combat this little battle, this game that they play. They literally said yesterday that there's only less than 1% of Californians that hunt and maybe less than 10% of those that bear hunt. Therefore, it should just go away because they don't like it and there's so few of us that do it. Can you imagine applying that same mentality to lacrosse? But no, to answer your question, hunters are the original conservationists, Kevin. They have been, they always will be. And by no means do we want to see this precious resource that we love and cherish go away. And that's why we know that the most effective means of hunting is a viable tool of wildlife management. We care. Hell, I spent 30 years of my career. I love wildlife, but I cherish them. You know, I spent my career protecting them, but that doesn't mean I can have the utmost affection for them and harvest them and utilize them and show them more respect than the bumper of an automobile or starvation on a mountainside. And that's what happens when you don't hunt critters, you know. They have to be managed.
Well, I think it's really important, and Roy, we're gonna keep on having this conversation. But I think it is important, whether you're a hunter or not, to support this sort of thing, because by allowing these sorts of petitions to be encouraged by the Department of Fish and Wildlife, this stuff ends up bleeding over into California legislation and potentially national legislation if we let it. Roy, I want to thank you again for coming on, offering this insight, knowledge, and wisdom. You guys, if you don't know, this is the person who's advocating for you up in the Capitol. This is the person who is advocating for hunters' rights at these wildlife or Fish and Game Commission meetings. So, Roy, we truly appreciate what you do. We're going to keep having this conversation. Be sure to tune in to the next episode where we're going to continue talking about legislation.
Happy to be here with you.